Lately, everybody has been talking about Afamefuna. This film just recently.
Lately,
First of all, it was earlier released in 2023 December. Then it was recently added to Netflix. Plus, it had 4 nominations for the AMVCA Africa Magic Viewers Choice Award. So there's been like talk about Afamefuna, and it has even gone on to be #1 movie in Nigeria.
we were talking about it from last year.
Yeah.
It's one of the most anticipated movie in 2023, and it had a good run in cinema. So yeah, it's finally on Netflix, and we decided to tell you about it. This story follows the eponymous character Afamefuna, played by Segun Arinze. The movie opens with Afamefuna father's memorial celebration being disrupted by the police because there had been a murder. His acquaintance, Paul, has been murdered, and Afamefuna is the first suspect here. So he had to go to the police station to defend himself. And from this police interrogations, there are flashbacks to how it all started, how he met Paulo, who is this Paulo character. Afamefuna actually met Paul when his mother took him from Onitsha to Lagos to work for Odogwu and Sons, introducing us to the flourishing Igbo apprenticeship system.
Yeah, basically, under this system, the apprentice usually goes to work for his master for years without
undefined
without pay. During this time, he's just going to be learning how to do the business. You don't need to be very educated to just learn business under this system.
Yeah.
And when your master feels like you are ready for your own business, he actually rewards you by releasing you with your own business, a business of your own already set up, and money. So when Afam arrived at Odogwu and Sons, Odogwu actually introduced him to Paulo and asked Paulo to show him how things are done around here, what he will be doing actually in the shop and everything. And these two people became really close. Paulo basically taught him everything, how to be streetwise, how to dress, and how to interact with customers. Years later, Odogwu decides to settle Afam before Paulo, who is already a senior apprentice. That's basically what happened in the story.
Just 10 minutes into this movie, I already sat up like, this is a good story. I enjoy it. What do you think about the story?
I think it's a good one. We always talk about original Nigerian stories in this channel. If you are a constant viewer, you know that we're always looking for original Nigerian stories to be told. Nollywood doing better. And I think this film really went very close to doing so good. The story is so original.
So original. And also another thing is that we saw new faces. I don't know if those people have been in any other role before. Kudos to the casting directors as well for that, because we always say, oh, we need new faces, let's give room for more people. Yeah, there were new faces here that we have not seen before, or at least even if they're not new, but at least not so popular faces were here as well. Personally, I think that this is a very necessary story to tell. This is basically how the people from the East grew their wealth. So after the East was hit hard during this Nigerian Civil War, they had to build their wealth. So there was a sense of kinship, a sense of brotherhood. So the Igbo apprenticeship system is way more than just making money. They're just trying to really grow as people, grow brotherhood and this bond, because no matter how the Igbo traders will always band together. So yeah, I think the movie did justice to it.
Basically, we see these things every day. You know that, okay, this was happening, but you don't really get this insight on it, on the point of view from the apprentice and the mentor himself. Like, it was told in a very nice way. That's why I like the story. The storyline was told in a very beautiful way.
I love how they were very subtle about it.
They were subtle, but at the same time, when Kanayo's character Odogwu was talking about something, he was describing
the time for the war, during the war, how they built.
Well, not really subtle, but
well, I'm trying to talk about the apprenticeship system itself. This movie, it talks about the downside of the apprenticeship system. You know, you say, oh, look at the downside, but they tell you that, oh, this thing, this thing, you have to be doing other things in the man's side. Then when you say you're serving this person. So they're not just telling you only the glorious part. That I was trying to say, that they were subtle about it. They're telling you that, okay, this happens. Even sometimes these boys have to inflate prices for their own benefit because they're not getting paid. Because how will you send money back home?
You understand? So
you are working for years without pay. All you know is that, okay, there's just a place for you to sleep and there's food for you to eat. But money for...
And you're learning a trade. That's it. And Afamefuna, these boys were even lucky enough to have a boss that cared about them to an extent. I've heard some really dark stories about this same apprenticeship system. But so that I'm trying to say, that they showed both sides that, oh, this is not very glorious. So it had its downside and also a good thing for growing wealth.
And for the actors portraying his characters, they were so good. Everybody just brought in their A game.
It was like, the director is Kayode Kasum here. He's just like, oh, you know what? there's no room for bad acting. Take your bad acting somewhere else.
When you come on set, you bring your A game.
I really like the character of Paul. Both the young and the old. Alexx Ekubo was a natural in this role.
Yes, I think his nomination for the best supporting actor is well deserved.
He was a natural. Even Stan Nze did a good job. Yeah. He was a natural. From the first scene when he was like, officers, well done, and I was like, that's good. What they mentioned, of course, is Atlanta Bridget Johnson.
She was such a good crier. This woman was just crying. Like, when it was time to cry, she was crying like,
she's a good actress.
She put herself in that role so much.
Yeah.
Even not even about when she was crying.
But there was
when the police were interrogating her too, you could see her face like, I'm confused. What is going on here? She was just so good. I liked it so much. It was really good.
She was a natural in this role. There was only a scene where she was talking to her uncle. She suggested that her uncle should instead send Afamefuna instead of sending the other guy. And she was so natural in that role. Like,
the way she came into that conversation was...
She entered that role very well. I've seen her just 2 roles and she always delivers her role. But this movie, I was like, are you not taking this crying a little bit too much? Because like she was actually shaking and she was crying. And I'm like...
They cry. Actually, I was really touched. Like, okay, what if
I was so touched.
What if I did something like this? Now, this is how we cry. Honestly, I felt for her.
And it was an assistant really wanted to comfort her. Like, I really like the acting.
Those two, one thing about the chemistry, I did not see the chemistry.
You didn't see the chemistry with them. Why I really see the chemistry with them? I think that character, she played a fast one on every single person. I think she was kind of like a villain in this story, in my very honest opinion.
Safe, Abby.
Let's talk about Amaka's character for a bit. This might be spoilers for some people, but yeah, I think Amaka played a fast one because there's this love triangle. There was not even a love triangle. She was in love with Paul. But it was not until Paul treated her badly that she said, okay, this guy likes me. And he expressed it that...
And he's wealthy.
And he's wealthy. And he's
already a good thing. And my dad might like him.
And my dad would definitely like him. He's a good man. So let me go for him. So you can never see chemistry between both of them in the first place.
There's no chemistry, and I know like when he was touching her face, I just been like, I felt so uncomfortable.
So much. The same way they were outside the boutique. I'm like, why are you touching her so much? What did happen?
Like, I will push you away.
As beautiful as ever, yes, thank you, but maintain your room.
Even when Alexx Ekubo was inside the shop and I saw them, like, it did not make any sense. It'll never make it to me if I'm a passerby. I don't care if I love us. The way he was touching her face, it was not even nice.
It was too much, honestly. Too much. I was so uncomfortable with that scene. Like, okay, is this how to show that you love somebody? Even when he was even younger, the first day he saw her, he was just looking too much. I'm like, you are new here.
Let's just say he's in love. He's in love. Yeah.
If I'm trying to watch anymore, I will chop out the interrogation part.
I think that was part of this movie.
I will chop out the interrogation part. Sometimes it was cringe-worthy. It was just like...
Segun Arinze is a good actor, but there were moments where I felt like he fell out of the character of the inspector. He fell out of his accent, and he was doing so much. I did not just feel that interrogation so much, even though that was how we got the entire story of what happened. I wish that there was another creative way they could just blend it in, because the movie is set in both the present times and early 2000s. What I would change is the pacing. I felt like a lot of scenes were dragging on when it was not necessary. For example, when Paul was showing Afam around Lagos and the shop, I felt like that scene was dragged for too long. But instead, they were trying to show us how it's done, or just give us an insight into it. But I still feel like it was dragged for too long. I think the pacing was just fine. The honest to God truth is that the point of this movie is to show you about the Igbo apprenticeship system. The other thing about the murder, they had to make it creative, that there's this murder mystery here, then the love story, you just had to add it. They're just by the side. And I like how everything was added beautifully. Like, everything was just woven really well together. The love, the business and everything. It was good. Yeah. I rate this film 4 stars. I rated it a 5 out of 5. I've wanted this kind of movie for a long time. Our Nigerian stories that are relatable, that anybody can pick up and enjoy it. And I think Afamefuna did that. The acting was good. Even the music, that, oh, love, I've done me strong thing, it was funny. It was like a salute to the old Nollywood, because those are kind of songs that were in old Nollywood movies. So yeah, if you enjoy old Nollywood movies, if you enjoy Nollywood, if you enjoy Nigerian or African stories, you will enjoy Afamefuna. So if you have seen Afamefuna, tell us what you think in the comment section. Do not forget to like this video, share and subscribe to We Are Binge Watching. Until next time, do take good care of yourself. Goodbye.